Hey guys, so what I'm going to be doing in this video here is showing you how we promote our clients' products without having to rely on discounts. This is something that I see a lot of brands struggle with. I barely see any brands doing this correctly. In the vast majority of the brands that I audit on Klaviyo, the most typical example is they're either just spamming their products and just saying a bunch of irrelevant stuff, or they're heavily relying on discounts, both of which obviously you want to avoid. All right, so um, all right, so here's the overall email. Let me show you because obviously there's a ton of different components that go into creating an email. So I'm just going to break it down and describe the important sort of aspects that we consider when we're putting these together. And by the way, the stats on this was very, very good. We converted 0.2% of people without relying on any discounts, obviously, which is excellent. So let me show you this. Okay, so how to promote a product without discounts. Step one: which segment of your audience are you sending to or selling to? And what is their level of awareness about the product? The segment that we're targeting here are people who are outdoor athletes, which is the brand's ideal target market. All right, so I mean that should be a given, but just for context, all right, so they're already familiar with the brand and they've seen some of the products, but they don't know too much about it. All right, and this is pretty common. It's basically people who, have been to the brand's website, they've seen them on social media, they've been served an ad or whatever, but they haven't dug super deep into the product. All right. So essentially, how we're going to position this is like, hey, like, you know, um, we know exactly sort of, your situation, what you're trying to improve. Well, we actually have a product that actually improves that specific aspect and basically just presents that information to them in a way that they'll actually read. Like a lot of people are going to be scrolling their phone and they have really short attention spans, especially with emails. They receive like 30 different emails from different brands on a daily basis, so you want to deliver this in a way that they'll actually be able to scan through it and um, sort of perceive the value of the product. So that's step one. Step two is how does the product solve their problems or improve their situation? All right. So the main two things that this segment of their audience actually cares about is number one, maximizing athletic performance. All right. Number two is maximizing health and longevity. It's not just about like maximizing athletic performance while sacrificing your health. Otherwise, you'd do steroids. And it's not just about, maximizing health and having zero athletic performance. Otherwise, they'd go do a, you know, 14-day water fast, right? So they're looking for both. And, a lot of them are really health conscious in terms of like being vegan and stuff, right? So this particular product solves both, so we're going to be using that to frame the content. So let me show you. All right, so guide to our greens, want to improve your nutrition. This is your answer packed with nutrients like these. And, this particular audience is going to be familiar with these. Obviously, these are very healthy ingredients. These support your training, recovery, and health. Find out why they're the best nutrition and training companion and learn how to use and store them. All right. Now, they could click through to, read the full article, which has a lot more sort of in-depth content. But then you want to deliver basically what the article is going to say, but like sort of take the important points and boil them down into 3 to 4 infographics slash bullet points, right, that they could easily sort of scan through. All right, so athletic excellence, and these are all buzzwords that like in their head they're going to be like, oh yeah, like that's exactly what I'm looking for. So rich in nutrients, boosts athletic performance, natural energy and recovery, and delicious and vegan. Like these are all things that they will have been reading their health magazines or scrolling through Google, social media, etc., to figure out how to maximize things like this. So natural energy and recovery, etc. All right. So and then you explain it with sort of the subtext here. So organic ingredients. So the stuff that we listed up here, we're going to connect them to the benefit here. and essentially basically increase the perceived value of the product that way, right? So step three is following the optimized structure. All right. So how do we deliver this information that clearly benefits their situation in a way that they will, read it and maximize the chance of them clicking through and actually buying it? So number one is going to be the hero image plus header that are above the fold. Right. So that way they immediately know what the email is going to be about. It's going to be about this particular product. Here's how you consume it, in your shaker bottle here, and what is this email about without them having to scroll, essentially. All right, so guide to our greens, aesthetic and on-brand design. A lot of this is going to come down to the brand guidelines, but in this case, as you can see, the email branding matches the branding on the packaging, and that's what you want. Nice and consistent, and very aesthetically pleasing. Concise and direct body text. I see a lot of brands who write literal, like, full essays where it's like three different paragraphs that nobody's ever going to read. You don't want to do that. All right. So, do a couple sentences for the body text here. Just be very direct in terms of like how it actually supports them. Like, what is the value proposition here? And then again, here, focus on the ones that are the most relevant and then directly communicate how it's actually going to benefit their situation and how it's going to improve their lives essentially. Um all right, benefits and bullet points. So that's the most digestible way for them to read it at a glance. And then clear call to action here, which, shop now. It doesn't get more direct than that. By the time they've gotten here, they've already, seen the value of the product, and, a certain percentage of people are going to be ready to place their order. So, that's how you make an optimized email, promoting a product without having to rely on discounts.